The answer to this question can be determined by studying the characteristics of fig trees. The fruit of the fig tree generally appears before the leaves, and because the fruit is green, it blends in with the leaves right up until it is almost ripe. Therefore, when Jesus and his disciples saw from a distance that the tree had leaves, they would have expected it to also have fruit on it, even though it was earlier in the season than what would be normal for a fig tree to be bearing fruit. Also, each tree would often produce 2 to 3 crops of figs each season. There would be an early crop in the spring followed by 1 or 2 later crops. In some parts of Israel, depending on climate and conditions, it was also possible that a tree might produce fruit 10 out of 12 months. This also explains why Jesus and his disciples would be looking for fruit on the fig tree, even if it was not in the main growing season. The fact that the tree already had leaves on it, even though it was at a higher elevation around Jerusalem, and therefore would have been outside the normal season for figs, would have seemed to be a good indication that there would also be fruit on it. The presence of a fruitful fig tree was considered to be a symbol of blessing and prosperity for the nation of Israel. Likewise, the absence or death of a fig tree would symbolize judgment and rejection. Symbolically, the fig tree represented the spiritual deadness of Israel, who, while very religious outwardly with all the sacrifices and ceremonies, were spiritually barren because of their sins. By cleansing the temple and cursing the fig tree, causing it to wither and die, Jesus was pronouncing his coming judgment of Israel and demonstrating his power to carry it out. It also teaches the principle that religious profession and observance are not enough to guarantee salvation, unless there is the fruit of genuine salvation evidenced in the life of the person. James would later echo this truth when he wrote that faith without works is dead, James 2:26. The lesson of the fig tree is that we should bear spiritual fruit, Galatians 5:22-23, not just give an appearance of religiosity. God judges fruitlessness and expects that those who have a relationship with him will bear much fruit, John 15:5-8.